So the crime scene do not cross it. The crime scene barricaded. It just is for us to barricade the place so that no unauthorized person will be able to enter into that place. So as for them not to contaminate the evidence that we are looking for. That's the first thing that we take along with us inside our evidence tool bag. Then we have something we are looking for, like the fingerprint. Like the fingerprint, we need brush, fingerprint brush. We need a fingerprint brush. We need a fingerprint powder for the dull and dark surfaces. This is for white. This is black. Fingerprint powder for bright bright or white surfaces. Then we need to take along with us our magnifying lens. We need to take our this ultraviolet device having ultraviolet light to reveal some object that cannot be seen with unaided eyes. It can help us to reveal. For example, biological evidence can glue under it. Then we have a laser light. We have a this is meant to lift the fingerprint. It's a tape, our normal tape, but can help to lift the fingerprint. Then we have the twister to take fiber or hair to pick it from the crime scene. Also we have to take along with us fingerprint lifting card. We have a fingerprint collection consent form for suspects. We need to take along with us sterile swab stick. This is swab stick for DNA to process DNA, because DNA is one of those things we are looking for. We are looking for DNA. We are looking for fingerprint. We are also looking for footwear evidence. So we take along with us measuring tapes. We take along with us measuring tape and ink. Also we take evidence bag of various sizes and type. This one is not meant for biological evidence. It will destroy or degrade biological evidence. So you don't need to use this one for biological evidence. It's only the paper bag that must be used for biological evidence, unless if the biological evidence is already dried. So, and there are some evidence bag that will have chain of evidence, or you take along with you chain of evidence form. Chain of custody form. Yes, you take along with you also this dental stone. This is dental stone. Take along just to process in case, if depending on the kind of case, if the case is outside, that means you can see the shoe, the impression of the shoe inside the soil. So we can use this one to lift it, to lift the footprint evidence from the soil. The first thing to do after the preliminary investigation is to do documentation using your camera, preferably digital camera. So now I want you to look at objects that you have on ground that we are suspecting the case of this man. In the office of that man, we saw some things. For example, we saw a strange string that we suspect was used to strangulate him, because we saw a mark on his neck. So we saw this on the table door. Then we saw a suicide note. So all these things, the first thing and some other things. So the first thing is to take the picture. The photograph must be taken. You take the overview of everything. You take the overview first. Take the overview first. Then later you snap at a close range. You photograph it at a very close range. Then later the object one after the other. One after the other. Look. Use the suicide note. Then you have a cup here. You saw a cup here. Then the perpetrator went away through the window. The note that he matched. Now you take photograph of the man, and if you look at something, you see something here called a toe tag. The toe tag will be attached to the toe, so that when it's being taken to on hospital, where either the autopsy will be done or take or along with other dead body, it will not be missed. So this is the toe tag has his name, the last name, the first name, the case number, the date of birth, height, weight, sex, and other things will be measured before is taken to the morgue or to the hospital. So that's how to take the picture. Take the picture for documentation. Then let's move ahead to some other things. A crime scene investigation, what we basically do is to process the crime scene, or we are looking for evidence using scientific method, so as for us to get evidence that will help us to link the criminal to the crime scene. And the crime scene in this case may be the location where it took place or the body of the victim. So either of the two, wherever we see anything that will help us to link, there are some laws in forensic that will help us. If you understand it very well as an investigator, if you understand these laws, it will help you a lot. Laws and principles. One of them, the first of this that is very, very important is that of law of individuality. The law of individuality by Paul L. Clark says that every natural or artificial object possesses a set of characteristics that can never be duplicated in any other object. That is, every object is unique to itself. This is a building block for forensic investigation. Now, how does this one apply to what we do? Every human being, for example, human being is a natural object. Every human being has a set of characteristics in his body. For example, you have DNA as one of them, one of these characteristics. You have a fingerprint, you have a handwriting, you have your iris, your hair, your everything like on your body. They are unique to you. That means if you were here, if you are in a location and some of these characteristics in your body, if they are deposited there, it means you can link it to you because you are unique to unique to yourself. Those characteristics are unique to you as an object, as a natural object. And apart from that one, as you as a human being, you are putting on some things, some artificial things like your clothes, your shoe. Those clothing, like your shirts, trousers, your belt, your shoe, they are artificial objects that also they have a set of characteristics that are unique to them, which means if I use or you use your shoe to match in a place and that impression will be unique to that shoe alone, even though there are millions of feet that are manufactured the same day, that will be unique to that one alone. So this, and in forensic, what we do is that we compare object to object so as to link one to the other, because every object is unique to itself, whether natural or artificial. So let that one sink. Then another one that we'll be considering out of those laws is laws and principle is that of Locard's exchange principle. This exchange principle says that every contact leaves a trace. Every contact leaves a trace. That one means that every suspect or every person coming to a new environment will come to that place with a set of characteristics and deposit it in that place and take away something from that environment, take some characteristics of that environment away and deposit some of it, because every contact leaves a trace. Okay, how do you understand that? Now, I said what we are looking for is evidence. Evidence as to link the suspect or the criminal to the crime scene or to the body of the victim. So now we know some of the characteristics of human being that we are looking for in the crime scene. The DNA, the fingerprint, the footprint, and so many other things. So, but the one you usually encounter on crime scene are the DNA, the fingerprint, the footwear impression, and the question document. Side note. Now let's go ahead. The first thing we want to do today is that we want to process DNA. We want to process this crime scene for DNA of the person who came in and killed the man on ground. Now, what we are going to use, we need a swab stick, sterile swab stick, and we need evidence bag. Where can we look for where are the sure place for us to look for the DNA? Because we can't just be processing every service for it will take time, and at the same time we don't be able to get what we are looking for. But there are some places that we have to suspect. When we came in, we discovered that the light was switched off, and this is an office where between the time that thing took place, the man supposed to put on the light, which means the perpetrator of the light, because of people that are around, so that they provide for them not to take note of what is happening. So he switch off the phone. Switch off the light. Switching off the light entails that he will touch the switch. Switching off the light entails that we touch the switch. Now let's go to that place and process it. The perpetrator has touched the switch, so you have to process the switch for the DNA of the perpetrator. Now, what we do is this: we have to, after we might have broken it, but before, you have to make sure that this thing is sealed. You have to make sure it is sealed to avoid contamination, that it is sealed. So we break it, we remove it, then you have to make sure that you have sterile water. You put sterile water inside another thing. You can't use it direct inside another container. Dampen the head, then begin to use it. You are looking for DNA from the finger of the perpetrator. Yes. After that, you put it inside. We break the second one. Then this time around, we are not going to use water. We just use it dry one like that, in order to dislodge if there's anyone that still remained. Then we put it inside the bag and seal. before you send it to the lab. Then you fill this form here, fill it. Yes, I want to tell us something, that anytime we are processing for DNA like this, we need to protect ourselves from contaminating the DNA, or from picking DNA from a place and transferring it to another evidence. Cross contamination must be prevented. You put inside, seal it, fill this place, fill the chain of custody form if it is on the evidence bag. But if it is not on the evidence bag, there's another form that you can fill for chain of custody and attach to it before you leave the crime scene. Yes. Now we want to process the crime scene for fingerprint. We know it's not possible for us to be processing everywhere for fingerprint, but you know there are some particular places that the man might have touched, and one of those places is the switch. The switch, of course, we have processed that place for the for the DNA, which means if the fingerprint is already there, it might have been spoiled. So there are some other places that we suspect it was, like the cup near the man and the window also. The window where the broken something. Now let's take this off and try to you have a fingerprint, but you just take part of it because you need just little. You don't need to dip the fingerprint powder inside, so you need little. The little we need as we pour inside this one, just little. So you can see one here, you can see another one here. So this is one, this is another one. So we lift it. Using this tape. You make sure that there's no bubble. You saw two, so we are taking the two together. Make sure there's no bubble. So look at this fingerprint. You fill this place, date, time, case number, where lifted, investigator's name, signature, then the fingerprint is at the in that compound. where the office of this man is, we have about 6 buildings there and different men living there. So we have about 6 suspects. All of them we are called, and they explain everything to them that we need their fingerprint. They surrender their fingerprint to us. So what we need to do is to give them consent form, fingerprint consent form, in order for them to have their fingerprint. And when we are taking the fingerprint, we have to allow them to fill the form first. The full name of person fingerprinted, signature and date will be here to show that he consented to it. Then we take the first, the right, the left thumb and the right thumb, the left and the right, using this same paper. Now let's demonstrate it. The fingerprint must be done from side to side. From side to side. From side to side. And the pink or little finger. So the first one for the right and the second one for the second hand. So with that, we take this one along with the one we saw on that of the suspect, the suspected fingerprint, and this known one. Then we take them along with us to the office or to the lab. When the suspect was leaving the place, he left through the window, and around the window we look at it very well, search through the place. We saw a document that he matched that document before leaving. So on the looking at it very well, we saw his footprint on it. So, and the other time we said one of those things we take along with us is a light, oblique light. Oblique light is just an ordinary light, white light that will shed on an object at a certain angle. So now let's look at this one. Let's look at this. Can you see the? Can you see? Can you see? Can see all of it. So all you need to do is to snap. Can you see now? So you snap it. As you snap it, go to the house of the suspect and check for all the shoes they have, and you take the sample of the shoe. How do you take the sample of their shoe? The sample of the print of their shoe. Now, as you are coming, you take along with you a bottle of ink, preferably black ink, with some A4 paper. You coat the shoes, those suspect shoes, you coat it with the ink, then you stamp it on top of the black, the A4 paper, and the print, you write the name of each suspect on it while you take the whole thing along with the one you saw at the crime scene along with you, so that you go to the office, and get to the office, can scan them to the system and do the comparison, or you do it manually. On the footwear evidence, if the crime took place outside where you have soil, especially sand, and we have discovered the footprint of the suspect, what we need to do to take that thing is this dental stone. This is dental stone. This dental stone is a kind of material that when you mix it with water, it becomes solid. you mix it with water and pour it on the footprint. By the time the thing solidify within 15 minutes, you can remove it and take it to the lab to compare it with the shoe that you see in the custody of the suspect. As thing we saw is a note purported to be suicide note that the man that said to be written by the man, purported to be written by the man, that he killed himself because of issue between him and his wife. But some member of the family, they came and contended it that no, it's not possible, that the man couldn't kill himself, that they know him very well. He's a courageous man that will never kill himself because of any issue. So in that case, that suicide note has become a question document, a document that is named to be investigated. And what are we going to investigate there? We want to investigate the handwriting. The handwriting examination is a subset of question document, and question document is a science. So it's totally different from handwriting in graphology. Handwriting in graphology infer a person's character from the handwriting, but here what we do in handwriting under question document examination is that we try to get to confirm the originator or the creator or the owner of the handwriting, who wrote the letter, or to refute the allegation that somebody wrote the letter. So those are the things. That is what you use to do, either to refute or to confirm that this is the owner of the handwriting, and never about the characteristics of the owner. So it's a science, and it's totally different from graphology, handwriting under graphology. So let's take note of that one. Now, how do you investigate this one? What we do is that we collect samples of handwriting, what the man has written, what he wrote while he was still alive. Collect about 10 samples of this, and we use it to do the comparison. We compare the handwriting known to the unknown. And for the fact that every person's handwriting is unique to him, even on the characteristics of human being as a natural object that is unique to him, everyone's handwriting is unique to him. So we look at all his other handwriting and use to compare with that. Even though handwriting, when a writer writes 10 times, there may be variations, and there may be differences. These differences is what we call natural variation. Those natural variations are not enough to say they are not written by the same person. They are natural variation. For example, when you sign 10 times or even 100 times, you are still going to see little difference. Those little differences are what we call natural variation, and they are not evident to show that they are written by different people. But there are some things that are constant inside the handwriting, inside the signature, that will make an examiner to say, yeah, these are written by the same person. This is originated by. So we look at what the man has written in the past compared to the one that he is alleged to be written. So we compare the two together. If they are not the same, because of some characteristics that we have seen in them, you say it is not him that wrote it. But if they are the same, then you say. So we collect those samples. We call them collected samples. So those collected samples, they must be samples that are not far away, from the time when that thing happened. Because the reason is that handwriting changes as age changes. As we age, our handwriting may change. So it is not compulsory that you know how to do analysis of this, but you must know how to process them well from the crime scene. You process them well so that you also can interpret them adequately. Now, apart from that, there is the issue of contamination is a big issue. Contamination is a big issue. Therefore, anytime you are processing the crime scene, especially when you are looking for DNA, you must make sure you protect yourself, that you don't contaminate the place with your DNA or take DNA from one object that is not relevant to the case and drop it on the one that is relevant. For example, in a crime scene, if you have touched a chair outside the crime scene having DNA, and you come to the crime scene and you touch another object of relevance, or an object of relevance on the crime scene, you may deposit DNA of an innocent person that has nothing to do with the case. So you have to protect yourself so that you won't contaminate the other place, so that you not transfer DNA from another place or from that scene to another scene, because you may still going to work on another crime scene. There is what we call cross contamination. Cross contamination is when there is an evidence. Maybe you have two evidence in the same evidence bag, and there's DNA, for example, a DNA on a particular object of relevance, and you put it inside the same bag with another object of relevance, and both of them may be perhaps from different people. And the first one, you know the owner of the first object, maybe a phone, for example, and maybe another one is something like a hammer that an artisan or an handkerchief that an artisan used a day before the incident, but on meeting it on the crime scene, or both of them were taken together, especially that of both of them were taken together, and now you put them in the same bag. Putting them in the same bag may make DNA from the hammer or the handkerchief to be transferred to the phone, which may confuse the investigator later. So cross contamination contamination generally is a big issue, and so you stop contamination, you don't allow cross contamination, so that it will not destroy the evidence. There was a case of a student who they met dead in her room, and the friend came, they were looking for her. The friend and her boyfriend, they were looking for her. As soon as they discovered that the door was locked behind, they tried to open it. The boyfriend of her friend was trying to open the door. They tried all to no avail before they called the police. When the police was coming, the police opened the door. As he was opening the door, he took part of the DNA from the doorknob and transferred it to the body of the dead man, or the dead lady. So now, while they were carrying on their investigation, the DNA of an innocent person or that friend and her boyfriend has been transferred to that place. Transferred to until some group of forensic investigators came up and rescued them by conducting another investigation, which now reconstructed and reveal what truly happened. So you have to be careful so that you as an investigator, you don't do cross contamination, or you don't bring evidence contamination from another place. To pause and look at the crime scene. The object of relevance may be a digital device like phone, like tablet, or computer. So if it's a computer, the first thing you do, or a phone, the first thing you do is to snap or record the surface, record what you have on the surface, and put the evidence in in a bag, in a evidence bag called Faraday bag. That Faraday bag will prevent signal from getting outside but we prevent the device from sending signal outside or receiving signal from outside. Do you know that it is possible for somebody, a criminal from outside, to wipe everything inside the device? So, and if you switch it off, there are some of the things, there are some evidence that may be lost in the memory, in the memory of the device. So you need to keep it on. You keep it on, at the same time you put it in Faraday bag. But in case there's no Faraday bag, what you can use is aluminum foil. You use aluminum foil to wrap the device, and before you put inside the evidence bag, normal evidence bag. So with that, it will not be able to send signal out or receive signal, so that nobody from outside can contaminate what is in your hand, because that is be a digital contamination. So digital contamination is real. Somebody from outside can destroy the evidence by sending in some barrage of evidence. What were not inside before can be put in and be sent inside, or what was there may be erased, or the whole system can be damaged from outside. So in order not to allow digital contamination, you have to prevent it by putting inside Faraday bag or using aluminum foil. On normal day, you may see people wearing hand glove. Yes, that is common. Nobody will challenge you, why are you wearing glove? But there's no one that will wear glove over his footwear. Nobody will wear glove over footwear, or will not wear shoe, just wear ordinary socks and be walking. Even that one will be a means of suspecting such a person. Then apart from that one, there are a lot of things you can use to do investigation. Only if the investigator will process the crime scene properly and do not allow contamination, and be able to discover evidence and interpret them very well. So those things, if they are done properly, there are a lot of ways you can use to investigate every crime. In fact, not only one way, 2, 3, 4, and several ways. So if one way is known to a criminal and he try to erase that part, there are some other parts that are on ground. For example, if a criminal is using hand glove and the fingerprint is not deposited, the footwear may be deposited. If the footwear is not deposited, then how about the hair and fiber from his clothes, from his body? The hair and fiber from the body can be processed. You know, when I was talking the other time, I said when we are one of those things we bring along with us is twister. See, the twister will be after you might have used that ultraviolet light to check for area and some other bright light like laser light to look for hair and fiber on that place, especially where the victim has to struggle with the assailant. Then we can be sure that the hair or the fiber will be deposited either on the ground, if it's on bed, on the evidence you'll be looking for while investigating, they are not the same. Let me give an example. In a rape case, these are the things you'll be looking for. For example, you'll be looking for the DNA of the assailant and on the body of in the crime scene, the DNA of the assailant in the crime scene. The crime scene may be the location where it took place or the body of the victim, and that is why our girls or our ladies or our women must know this, that if such a thing happen to them, they must not go to bar before evidence is processed from their body. And now in their body, what those things will be looking for, you let the lady pack the clothes that he wore during that time. The clothes must be packed and taken to the lab where the scientists will look Especially the investigator will look at the using magnifying lens and some other light to look at the cloth, to look for fibre, strange fibre from the cloth of the victim. Look for the strange fibre and hair. So if you able to see all those things, if it is hair, hair will contain DNA of the assailant. That is sure. Then another one is the ear. I mean the fibre. The fibre of every cloth are unique. The fibers are unique. The fibers are unique because just the according to that principle of law. Going further, we look for some other things like DNA from the sperm that might have deposited by the assailant on the body. It may be on the clothes, it may be on the private part of the victim. You look for it. If you are able to process that one, that in fact that will make the job to be fast. Another thing you can be looking for, those things may not be deposited, but what about the victim may say that yes, I remember that I beat this the assailant, and on the body of the assailant you have a dental mark, the injury from the teeth, from the tooth of this or from the tooth of the victim. So we call in the odontologist